What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Flame078 and today I'm excited to share with y'all my thoughts on Seer. This is my review. This is my guide, tips, tricks, information, everything you need to know about Seer as a legend, so that way you understand what to do when you pick him up in your next match of Apex Legends. So if you liked anything I said in this video, find it helpful in any way, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because I do this type of content on a variety of different Apex topics, such as understanding how to improve, understanding how to climb ranked, all that good stuff, which will be coming in every week. So again, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to talk to me live, I stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch me there. I hope to see you there. But without further ado, let's get into discussing Seer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, if you want to maximize your viewing experience on this guide review video, check the description box down below. I have everything timestamped, broken down to the various topics I'll be breaking down. So go down there if you want to skip around, learn at your leisure, get the information you need, and get into Apex. That is totally fine by me. I'm just doing this to help you guys, the normal gamers. So anyways, let's talk about the breakdown of abilities that Seer has, understanding what they do before we're moving on to the pros and cons and whatnot. So Seer's heartbeat, let's start there. His passive allows you to basically have audio cues to let you know where someone is at. Two key things I really want to highlight here. The little ring that you get glows when you basically are looking in the direction of someone, and you know, on the mini map you have a cone that will basically tell you the area of effect that this heartbeat sensor is working at. So use these two things to really understand what you're listening to and relay that information to your team as best as you can. Another couple things to note with the passive, sure, it lets you know the general direction, but remember, if you're going to try to figure out exactly where they are, it's a little bit tricky. It's not as accurate as you may think, so be very mindful of that. And that's why I said the mini map thing, because sure, you may be looking at them, but they could be on the third floor and you're looking right on the first floor, and that's not going to help you. Let's move on to the ultimate, the dome, the drone dome, if you will. Essentially get a nice little dome that gives you footsteps and marks enemies that are in them if they're moving, running around. And I have to say that very clearly. Moving around and running around, that is the key thing. If they are in the air, so for example, Pathfinder's grappled, Octane's jump pad, Valkyrie just jetpacking, they are not going to get marked. This is very important, so don't, if you're fighting someone and you may think you're safe, but still keep an eye out, use your heartbeat, use your audio cues, because they may not be marked until they land. Also, if they're crouch standing still or crouch walking, they're not going to get marked. So as cool as it is to think that you have wall hacks in a dome, remember there are a lot of different ways you cannot get marked, so keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the tactical. I think the biggest point of contention in Seer's kit is its tactical. Let's break down what it does. It launches drones about 80 meters in front of you, and anyone in that range gets stunned, flashbanged, marked for 8 seconds with health bars for your team. It does 10 damage. It interrupts anything that you were doing. So abilities like jetpacks or stim will stop. If you're healing, it'll stop. If you're reviving, it'll stop. So it packs a wild punch. And I know that upsets people, but let's keep a couple things in mind when you're using it. Remember how I said your heartbeat doesn't know where exactly someone is? So for example, if you think you shoot it in a direction, you might tag one person from that you're looking at, but you're fighting 3 enemies. There's a good chance that you didn't mark everyone. So be very mindful of how you use the information you get when you get the tactical, because it's a precise Bloodhound scan. It's not a scan like Bloodhound in the sense that it will replace Bloodhound. So just to give a little comparison and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Both of them have value, but that's just how it is. That is Seer's abilities. Let's move on to what I think about the good about Seer. Seer is honestly a balanced legend in the sense that if you want to play aggressive, he can support that. He can be supportive in that role. And if you want to play passive, he can be supportive in that role. His heartbeat combined with your tactical, if you use it correctly, if you time it correctly and you just work on being accurate with it, you can frag out. You can isolate people to focus on, coordinate with your team, and really take advantage of everything that information gives you. So I've been able to just go into a fight, mark people, just be like, I can just frag out. It's been a lot of fun to do, in my opinion. If you want to play a little bit slow, say you're playing with setup characters, using your dome to give you your information as you're setting up to see if anyone's pushing you during your setup phase is really nice. I've seen people effectively do that. So if a Watson is setting up her stuff, she'll understand where to place her pylon or her fence to counteract people pushing him and give themselves more time. So it's been really cool to see how people use the dome. And I think that's great that a legend allows you to play aggressive and passive, which is what makes him balanced in that regard. Another thing that's fun about Seer is just overall, he provides a lot of value. You know, the scans, the assists, and especially in ranked, if you're looking for some KP or way to get KP fast, the assist that you can get off Seer if you are accurate with your abilities is amazing. You'll be able to get that KP you desperately need to climb ranked. Overall, I can definitely see that Seer needs some tweaking, but before we move on to that, let's talk about the cons of Seer. Seer, though the wall hacks are awesome, one thing I want everyone to understand is really that you have to be really careful when you use your stuff. The tactical is on a 30-second cooldown. So if you miss, for example, and are counting on that information, you're without it for 30 seconds. Also, keep in mind when using him, your dome can be shot, but also, like I said, there's so many ways you can counter your dome. So don't be reliant on being safe. People can just fly in on you and you're gonna be caught off guard. I think Seer is a middle ground of Crypto and Bloodhound. So he's not as easy to use as Bloodhound in terms of blood information gathering, but he's definitely easier to use than Crypto, because Crypto is like a hard recon legend to really master. Bloodhound is a low barrier entry. He can really be useful with a low skill player, so he falls somewhere down the middle. So if you're coming into using Seer thinking that he's a Bloodhound replacement, I think you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time, because you're not going to be able to just get those free information like you can with a scan. So I think that's a big con in my opinion, simply due to a lot of people I think are going to use him in that way. So, but that's just a perception thing. Other than that, there's not really much of a con to using him. So, you know, that speaks volumes to how he released. So now let's move on to what I would think they might tweak and where his nerfs should lie. Honestly, Seer's tactical is the biggest pain point that I see in using him, and I think that everyone is complaining about. If I were to update his tactical, you need to remove a couple of things. Either his stun and flashbang that you get, though I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest. I think you can live with that, but I think it's the fact that you interrupt healing and abilities is an issue. So I would say remove the ability to remove the stun healing. Like, take that away. Abilities is fine, but remove the fact that you can stop a healing or revive is one way you can tweak it. I think the timer on the tactical is fine, and maybe if also just remove if I were going to go like really strong on the nerf, I would say also remove the stun and bang. But like I said, personally, I don't mind the stun or the flashbang. So I would hope it would stay, but I think that's what a lot of people are complaining about. And I think that's really it, because his ultimate and his passive, though they sound strong on paper, in practice they're not. They're very easily countered, and it's not extreme where once you hear someone, you know exactly where they are. And it takes a little bit of work, and it takes a little bit of skill to really use. And I think that's where you want a legend to be. But these are just my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But that is Seer's ability and a breakdown, and lastly I'll probably end with a gameplay talking over some of the good things that I used in Seer, so hopefully you guys can learn and understand how to use them. So thank you guys again for watching this video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Adios.
It all ends the same way, with me observing.
Alright, so I'm pretty pumped. We're gold 1. We're about to make it to platinum. This was an interesting game for a couple of things, and in this gameplay I definitely want to focus on just highlighting some of the mistakes I've been doing with Seer, how to avoid them, why I said the things I said in my review portion of the video, and then just so that way you guys can see it in action. So yeah, that's pretty much how this gameplay commentary is going to work, so I'll be quiet during the hot actions. But for right now, in the beginning of this match, the big thing is here is the heartbeat sensor that I take advantage of. Okay, I get to find out. You see all the arrows, you see the heartbeats. I kind of know where they're going to go at, and then right here I managed to mark 1. But again, I know there are 3 enemies. I only marked the 1, which is why I said the tactical needs to be more kind of targeted than a just regular bloodhound scan. You really have to be focused there in that regard, because just because you see them are all in the same direction and may not get them all at the same time. Yeah, 30-30 for the win, baby. I wonder how many times I actually misfired the tactical scan just because. Well, you got to keep in mind, it's 30 seconds until you get the next one. You really want to be careful with those scans. Yeah, as OP as they are, and once they do get balanced. So right here, an interesting thing, when I talked about it in my kind of Apex Legends breakdown, but passive wise, like, look at that ultimate placement. I didn't set it up because I wanted to fight. I set it up so I can get the information and we can get the wall hacks and let us know that they're going to be pushing us and whatnot. But we ultimately end up retreating. And check out again, once again, I throw my tactical down thinking I can get a scan because I just see heartbeats. Not the case. Gotta be smarter about it.
Contact with enemy. Reloading. Shields are recharging.
So I know exactly what's going on in the fight. I kind of see where the enemy is. I can plan accordingly. Wall hacks are crazy. So right here, one thing not pro tip, but just a tip that I use if you're in a situation like this. The scan is not worth it for one person, but just in case, to really capitalize on the whole idea, like, hey, I don't want this last person to get away. Those 8 seconds count, especially in that situation. So that's kind of why I threw it out there like that. But here coming up, as we're going into, we're gonna get chased and put in a bad position. What is nice about the dome, I think, is enclosed spaces are really your friend. Not only because it gives you a viable opportunity to place your little drone thing in a space where it won't get easily shot down, but it just covers you so much area, especially in a tight corner like a tunnel, where essentially they do have to move and they'll get tracked in that way. So it is kind of nice little deterrent coming up.
Taking damage. Shields are recharging. I'm recharging my shields. I'm getting hit. Look, enemy over here. We are inside the next.
So this is exactly what I was just mentioning earlier, coming up right here. Just this dome. Look at the coverage I get in most of the tunnel. Basically, we'll know when they're pushing us, because one way or another they're gonna have to like run and whatnot. We would be able to see. So sometimes I like to use the ultimate in this defensive manner, not really to gain any knowledge, but kind of use it as a deterrent in a way. And which is why I think in a passive playstyle, if you're playing passively with Seer, it comes in really clutch. So buildings like this, multiple stories, is the best effective way to use your ultimate. Just gives you all insight around the whole building, understanding where your enemy is rotating, where they're pushing to and whatnot. And as you can see, they disappear a little bit when they take the zip line, but overall they're being marked. I'm looking around, looking for the wall hacks, seeing, okay, there's enemies over there, where's my enemy behind me. Like, it is just the top tier in an enclosed scenario.
The whole squad has embraced the flame.
Nice work. Reloading. They spotted me. I'm taking shots.
So yeah, I think he's strong, but again, not that OP. It's just the way you use him, the way you kind of set him up is where your success is going to come in. Now here's another thing too, I talked about in the review why Bloodhound's scan is a little bit better in this scenario. Now look at this building. I know where they're at, I throw my tack, I mark 2, but I know there's 3 people up there. The other person was on the floor below or too far away. So that's why I was trying to iterate the point that just be mindful. Don't think you can push right away just because you scan them. Doesn't work that way. Here again, throw it down more as a deterrent, more as a getting ready. Are they going to push us? Because you know they got a knock. You never know. So I really like using Seer's ultimate dome in that regard, just determining stuff that way.
Round 5, beginning ring countdown.
Antagonist over here. I will keep lookout here. There is an enemy over here.
There's a skin bag here.
Oh, stop! We got the drop on me. Scan bomb, boom! That is kind of nice. And whoever's shooting at them has eyes on that Bangalore. It was just a little fun little thing that I did. But you know, now we're in an interesting situation. This is pretty enclosed. This is a kind of a nice area of World's Edge to throw your dome at, just because you'll get a lot of information, get a lot of coverage, a lot of recon ability in this area. But this match is coming to a close very soon, and it's kind of crazy.
I'm taking fire. Thermite out.
Setting a portal. Portal's ready.
Offering I'm recharging my shields. 45 seconds and the ring closes. Taking your
So I want to point out right here, the care package, right? That lifeline package. I know there's someone there. My heartbeat picks them up, but they're not being picked up by the dome. One, I'm pretty sure she might be a little bit out of range, but even if she wasn't, if she was in there, it looks like that person was just crouched and shooting. Reminder, they're not going to be picked up in that scenario. They have to be moving around. So you see, like, look, I can get them with a tactical, I couldn't get it with the ultimate. So iterating when you're using Seer, again, it's just another way of getting information. So don't bank on thinking that it's all knowing, all seeing. It can be countered, it can be deterred in a lot of different ways. So that is why I fall into the belief that Seer isn't that OP. He's just strong and needs a little bit of work to just be in a right, beautiful spot where he's viable, but he's also not a must pick. But even that being said, I don't think he's a must pick either. Like, I think right now everyone just loves using him, and I think that's a big factor of his pick rate right now, because obviously it's only been a week. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys learned something from the review, enjoyed my commentary over this gameplay. Again, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. More content like this will be dropping on a weekly basis, just getting my groove back together. And yeah, I stream live, trying to create content, trying to grow. TikTok right now, I feel like is like my strongest platform. If you want just short tip rant videos, that is the place to go. My handle is flame078 on all spaces. So damn, the Bangalore got me good.
Need to recharge my shields.
I was actually surprised I managed to get this res off. So right here, the end game right here, this scenario where it becomes a heal off, this is where I actually messed up. I should not have thrown my ult that way. I knew they were above me. What I needed to have done to really solidify the win is throw my attack straight up. They're all gonna start their heals right now in order to anticipate the ring, right? If I would have thrown my tactical right here, it would have been game over for sure, because I would have interrupted their heals. So that is where he is dangerous. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let's go. Got that W, baby.
You are the Apex champions.